I don't know that I'd change anything about the process. It took longer, perhaps, than some might have liked for it to take. But I think we took our time because we wanted everyone to be in on the conversation. And when we got to the end of the conversation, it was sort of of course that's who we are. Of course that's who we want to be. That's who the church should be. So I think we did it right in that we went slow enough that everybody came on board and felt included. I think the materials that were most helpful for us was outsiders coming in and talking with us about either their experience as a gay or lesbian person, or their experience as a friend or family member of a gay and lesbian person. We also had someone come from another denomination who talked with us about Bible interpretation, as well as we had someone come and talk to us about Bible interpretation from our own denomination, and they were at two different places on this. And I thought that was helpful, because I thought that made people who were adamant about becoming an open and affirming church understand and have a little more compassion about why some people are not there yet. I think that helped us. We went there anyway, but I think it helped us understand a little bit more.
I agree. I found the testimonials really powerful, and still, now that we're talking about this, remembering the courage that it must have taken for some of the parents. And PM and I was surprised by some of the people that came forward that talked about what that would feel like to, in a sense, expressly be not a welcoming. You know, that there was a sense that you either go open and affirming and put out the welcome, or you choose not to, and that means my daughter isn't welcome here. I mean, that kind of personal touch of what that feels like as a family, that was huge, because it transcends that sort of theological and ideological conversation about gay, lesbian, homosexuality, all of that stuff, and it just says, oh, your daughter, you know, we know you, we love you, you can't think about it the same. And I wouldn't do anything different either. I think we did it the right way, and I think we took our time, and that people slowly sort of came along and knew what to expect, so that by the time it was an official, it just smoothed on through.
It felt like this dialogue that we were having always felt like this, was more than an issue. This is about people. And that scared me a little, because I knew that there were people in the congregation for whom this was intimate and personal and potentially hurtful. And to just even engage the idea that the one they loved might not be welcome here, which then translates welcome to God, scared me. Because once you start the conversation, once you start getting into the dialogue about it, you're going to come to an end at some point and possibly have an opinion and maybe even a vote. And the vibrations of that vote, could damage some folk. And I realized that as we were going through it. The more we had the conversation, the more I realized how important and sacred and holy this conversation was. I was delighted with the outcome of it. So my fears did not materialize, which is something to celebrate, and something for people to know if they're going to engage in this conversation, that you kind of have to work through your fear. Because not talking about it isn't helpful either. Isn't affirming, isn't pastoral to people for whom this is a big issue. So people want us to have a conversation and wanted us to tell them what we thought. And here we were, these people, sitting around the room with various experiences and insights and opinions about things and faith perspectives. And we were going to make a really important decision. And I held that with a lot of respect and awe and fear when I would leave this room after we had the conversation, thinking,